Carrying on in part 2 of this video, as you can see from the spatial and taxon query on the Barrow Island dataset, it produces you with a checklist that you can examine the raw data. You can plot the year or the months which it was collected. You can look at Google Maps. You can press on the thumbnail to be able to see the full species page, but then very nicely at the bottom of the checklist you can click a button which then shows you a comparative image table, and you choose. You can choose what characters. So here we have the dorsal view, the head front, and then the lateral view of the spiders for Barrow Island. So as I said, that's the way we can combine data and images. And here we just see some of the raw data, plot the frequencies, and we have the Google Maps representation. Now, we believe that really the templates that we have for biosecurity work as well for the for biodiversity. You can see here this is a typical biosecurity, lots of symptoms, host symptoms, and then diagnostic information. Down the bottom it's difficult to see, but you have a toolbar which allows you to have information on its distribution, on its hosts, on any references you wish to put there, link out, so where you go to other databases where you can search for that name, such as Google Maps or Google Images or iSpecies. You have any synonymies there, or other common names, and that brings you then back to the main images. So really, between the templates for the species pages, between biodiversity and biosecurity, they share in common the use of a common and scientific name, full taxonomy of the species, user-friendly descriptions, status. In the pest and disease we have whether it's exotic, but over here we have that it's a native and it's a beneficial. We're going to add a reliability index to this to these pages. There are obviously identification, diagnostic images, as well as symptoms images, and then we have the distribution notes, the Google Maps, the hosts, the published references, web links, link outs, and any acknowledgements which are on those bottom toolbars. So we believe that the template for biosecurity can work as well as I'm doing here, building up a biodiversity image library for the native bees of Australia. And again, we simply have the same interface. You have specimens which we convert into species pages, which we link then with the raw metadata and the locality data, and then enable the user to come in and to drop the user, the spatial box, onto the map and then make a query. And then here we are, we've picked a genus of bee called Quasihesma from Cape York Peninsula, and here I've chosen to look at the male, the dorsal, the lateral view, the head front, the head top, and the head and the mandibles. These are all diagnostic views of the species, and you click on any image which will show you the largest image, or if you click on the name it'll take you to the full species page, and you can then use zoomified images. We also found that by presenting these, we've got a lot of citizen science value adding. Here's some examples where a person in Western Australia have sent us pictures of a Polistes diminulis nest in his backyard. Prior to that we only had the dead set specimens, and then over here on the right, on the native bee, there's a person in Sydney called Michael Batley who's taking a lot of wonderful footage of native Australian bees, and it's all been delivered through PaDIL in the biodiversity side there. So as I said, we're finding citizen science people have now got a place to parse their information and make it publicly available. We're going into a major now PaDIL update, and we're looking at now it's a suite of products. And as you can see here, we've got the pest and disease image library. Here is the Barrow Island quarantine incursion management, the plant biosecurity toolbox, the remote diagnostics, the gene bank, the biodiversity pollinators, the compliance sheets. But this is the one I'm going to talk on now about BowerBird. So in our new update, we have, which is about to be released, we have completely rewritten all of the software and all of the back end of PaDIL. It has a new search engine, and we're using Lucene, which is the same as that used by Google. There's voluntary user registration, but once registered it allows us to set certain security levels, but more importantly it provides the user with their own dashboard. There's now compatibility across all platforms including mobiles, and we introduce social networking through the user dashboard, RSS feeds, CSVs, and also we have the addition of reliability index.